Before we get started, I wanted to thank the sponsor of this episode. The Blink-182 draft is brought to you by the band Singing Lungs, and you are right now listening to their song Come Down Hard. Singing Lungs, featuring the drummer from Cheap Girls, is a punk rock band that calls back to when acts like Lemonheads and Lagwagon were tearing up the small club circuit. Brash, gruff vocals soar over harsh palm muting that quickly moved to driving drums and distorted guitars. The 90s are alive and well in Singing Lungs. Singing Lungs is back with a new EP recorded from their homes using 4 iPhones during quarantine, which is super badass. In the vein of 90s punk and indie rock with similarities to early Goo Goo Dolls, Lemonheads, and Smoking Popes, the band continues to push forward with a sense of urgency, melody, and introspection. With content ranging from navigating the ups and downs of life, the urgent need for creative expression in less than ideal circumstances, questioning overconfidence, and paying attention to yourself, Phone from Car attempts to sort out moments in time in order to continue moving forward. The new songs are being released digitally and on a limited edition lathe cut 7-inch by Count Your Lucky Stars Records. You can hear the full song at the end of the episode, so make sure to stick around and check out the show notes for links to their music video, their Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, and where you can find the song. Thank you so much to Singing Lungs for sponsoring this episode. What is going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
And I'm Pat.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent podcast. Hey, Pat, tell me, what episode is this?
It's episode 182.
Dude! Episode 182. I have been hyped for this for the past few months when I realized it was coming up. What are we talking about today, Pat? Who are we talking about? Whomst?
This was your idea. I would have totally lost track. But you were like, hey, episode 182 is coming up. We should do a Blink draft. I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad you said that. I would have fucking whiffed that 100%. So we've been kind of keeping track. But then since the idea, I even forgot again. So you were like, oh, by the way, we got to do that. So I'm like, okay, cool. And the rules are pretty simple. Last week we talked about it in the post show, but pre-California, we're going to keep it. Mm-hmm. We figured that'd be a good starting rule. 10 songs each, which, we're going to try to keep it to a respectable amount of listening time, but we're also going to get a little reflective about the show throughout. I'm sure we've come a long way. We've changed topics. We've gotten a little better. The sound quality has improved, and there's more of you. So I don't know. Huzzah! 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 I'm very pumped, and we've been kind of early in the show's creation. We tried a Scrubs episode. We did a Blink episode. We did a Tom episode when he launched To the Stars Academy. That's kind of how long we've been doing this. We didn't really know what we were doing. We felt bad about both the Scrubs and Blink episode, and we've been mentioning them in passing each week, at least once each in every episode. I'm sure we managed to mention them. We were a little scared. We didn't want to be total pop punk dorks and only do Blink-related episodes. We did a I Miss You music video episode once, but we've avoided it more or less. Would you agree? And I feel like when you brought it up, I'm like, wow, I'm surprised we've held off this long to do any sort of Blink draft at all. But Enema came out in '99, which has kept us off of it a bit, but we're breaking those rules. It's a Blink draft pre-California. We're just full send.
Yeah, man. I hope you're ready for my fly swatter hot takes.
Oh,
I've kind of avoided doing much Blink because it's like one of those things where it means so much to me. I don't want to get it wrong, so I've just been kind of avoiding it altogether. But I'm excited. We're still going to get this wrong. So many people are going to be mad at us. There's 155 songs. Blink 155.
Yeah.
Is just...
We're doing this. We're coming for your Blink 155. Just kidding. We don't even know those guys. I'm sure they do a fine job. The AV Club writes about them and stuff. But this is more than one song in a Blink episode for, I'm just saying, we offer more than one per episode. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. Again, I have no idea who those people are, and I'm sure they do great work. But so a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Angels and Airwaves, and at the beginning of the episode, I joked, I don't think I'm Team Tom or Team Mark anymore, which was like kind of a joke, but also kind of shows how much we've aged, just how much time has passed since Brad McShane first handed me a burnt copy of Dude Ranch in grade 6, ? So, it's, I try to put myself in the headspace of my teen spirit, I guess, if you will. Going back today and listening to everything. So I don't know. I'm excited. I want to dive in. I know I'm going to leave some for you, and I'm sure you'll leave some for me because we know, which way this is about to go. But I'm also excited for a few surprises as we go. We're going to roll 182 dice. Is that right?
We got to do it big, man. I'm rolling 182 dice today. We thought legitimately had like, I don't know if you want to call it an editorial meeting, but there was an addendum, or there was an item on the meeting minutes about how we should handle the dice roll, and that would seem to me the only logical conclusion. I picked odd in a pre-episode meeting, but I think, Tom, you're gonna hit the roll pretty soon here. Yeah, let's do it now. 182 dice, and you pick odds, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. Dude, I'm not even kidding you. The number is 690. Dude.
Damn, you win.
I'm not even kidding. 69. How much more perfect could it get for the Blink-182 episode?
Nothing like some fart punk from San Diego, California to get your blood going a little bit. So you get to either pick first or second and third.
All right. So, damn it. I'm going to have to go first only because there is a song that means more to me than anything in the entire world. Now, I think if I went 2 and 3, you would still let me have this because you know how much it means to me, but I cannot risk it. Putting my life on the line for the Blink draft. My number 1 pick, the number 1 song in the world. Nothing better has been written since All the Small Things dropped in 1999. It's my favorite song in the world. Longtime listeners of this show will have heard this story. This is the song that, like, sometimes when like the whole course of your life changes, you can pinpoint the moment that it happened. It's just like such a visceral memory. And my friend, Cara Barto, who is a Patreon supporter of the show, what's up? Thank you so much. She left a CD case in my sister's room, and I was just kind of like snooping in my sister's room, because what do you do when you're 11 years old? Went through the CD case, saw a big pair of boobies. I was just getting interested in those things at age 11. I put the CD in, Enema of the State. I was liking it. I was digging it. But as soon as All the Small Things hit, track 8, I was like, holy I don't care about anything other than learning how to play drums, and I'm going to start a band that sounds just like Blink-182. And like, up until that point, I had like done sports because that's what like my friends did. That's how I thought I would like fit in or whatever. And it was always like, how do I hit a golf ball straighter? How do I run a little faster? How do I throw a foot, better spiral? And then it was like in an instant, none of that mattered anymore. All the Small Things completely changed the direction of my life. I ended up going to a new school, meeting you, being in a band with you for years, going to college for music production. Now I'm self-employed doing podcast production. The whole direction of everything changed when I heard All the Small Things, and it will always be my favorite song of all time. Have to pick it number 1. Again, longtime listeners of the show should have seen that coming. All the Small Things on my team.
The little windmill is tattooed on your arm.
It absolutely is. Yeah. I've got a little windmill on my entire upper half of my left arm.
If they didn't know you, they'd guess it was a feel-good ink nod, but that's neither here nor there.
That really, I think you were the first person to mention that, and it bummed me out to hear.
I'm sorry. It's so directly looks like that music video, but that's not.
You're right. You're right.
Scott Toon Network recently did a really good Feel Good Inc. cover on their Facebook page. I love him so much.
Me too. Holy hell.
Okay, A, nice story. B, f*** off. C, I always thought it was a bit of a power move to have the lead single. I don't even know if it was the lead single, but track 8 was always kind of a bad hit slot to me because it made no sense.
Dude, that's okay.
You didn't question it because it was such a good, like, it made so much sense to my brain and soul and ears and body that it was like track. Plus, it's still a punk record. So you're at track 8 in what, 22 minutes?
Right. That's so funny to me because when I was working with Taylor Larson, he had a band in the studio that was recording a full length, and they're like, we like this song, but we know other people aren't going to love it. And he was like, put it at track 8. No good song has ever existed on track 8.
You're just like, take it back. Well, Tom, be cool. No, I made it. Take it back.
It is a badass move to not like open the album with that. Because like it's taking a risk that people aren't even going to get that far. But maybe they knew the song was already so big by the time the album came out. They knew that people would stick around for it. So maybe it actually got them through some of the earlier songs. I don't know.
Okay. Here is my first pick. I get second and third here.
I think I know
there's
what
no
it
good
is.
way to there's no good way to do this. So I'm going to start with their greatest track 1 to start my mixtape. I'm going to go Dumpweed. Because here's why. One of my favorite live music memories, I had finally got, lack of memory. Zach and I, our buddy Zach, who gets referenced on the show quite a bit, and rightfully so, we went to Pittsburgh, and we were going to get gas in Erie, and we had some beer in the trunk, like some. We didn't get a lot. We were like, oh, we're adults. We can drive to a show in Pittsburgh. We were going to have some beers. And it was like, would have been a totally normal, maybe we each would have 2 or 3, go into the show, be there for like, Fall Out Boy, All American Rejects. You probably all, if you're listening to the show, you might remember that tour. Basically, we pulled away from the gas station and a cop pulled us over. We're like, this is it. They got us. We are basically narcotics dealers. This is the end for us. And they're like, hey, did you mean to steal gas just now? We're like, oh, sorry. No, we'll go back and pay for it. Like, we just had blown right out of the gas station without paying for it because we were so nervous about having beer in the trunk. Anyway, we get down there, and these dudes from Zanesville, Ohio, which was kind of foreshadowing because I ended up going to school in Athens, Ohio. I'll try to tell the story a little faster. But they like had party supplies basically, and they kind of took us. They were our tailgating buddies. We got in, and Zach and I all tailgate. We're like trying to predict the set list because that was kind of pre-Setlist FM or setlist.com. And we're like, they got to open with Dumpweed. They got it. That's my favorite thing to do. I've only nailed it twice. Once at a Hold Steady show, once at Blink. But we came on and we just like Garth and Wayne grabbed each other's shoulders like, yeah, dude, they're fucking playing it. And then whatever the dudes from Zanesville had supplied us with, which was, alcohol or whatever, hit at that moment. And the next thing I know, I don't really know how that came about. And there was like, kind of like silly because it was the first time I had, and then I blinked again and Travis was doing that I'm in the drum set upside down. And I'm like, oh God, I'm missing the whole fucking thing. And I blinked again and we were, and then I ended up kissing my own brother. So my Dumpweed story is it's kind of the only song I remember them playing live, but I was so excited. It's their best album opener. Maybe not by far, but it just, to me, objectively is. Tom does a beautiful job lyrically of admitting he's kind of a like even my dad tells me I'm going to lose this fight stuff. It's fun. It's the first song on their best record. And that's my first pick. Not to ramble. I don't know if you have any thoughts on Dumpweed. You seemed a bit upset by the pick. It's
like my second favorite song of theirs. It would have been my pick too. Yeah,
knowing you love your albums and you love the front few songs on your album. So I should have known.
It's one of my favorites. I think I remember my freshman year of high school, we did summer school, and Nick Taylor was like helping out because his dad was teaching a computer class. He was another guy who played in like a very popular band in Erie. We ended up playing most shows together, and I heard he played guitar. I didn't really know anyone. else that played music. So I remember like looking at the tabs of this song and being like, dude, do you think you can learn this? Like, could we play it together? And I had like no idea how to play this beat like until a long time afterwards. But I've always loved it. I've always wanted to cover it. I never was in a band that did cover it. I think we tried to once with my old band, The Good Fight, but our drummer could not get the beat down. And it ended up not working out. I think we did a really bad job, but one of my favorites of all time of theirs, Enema, is the album that I always go to, and I always start an album from track 1, and it's just like immediately puts me in that place. I have so many memories with Enema of the State when I was like just discovering it when I was 11 and 12. And it's just like it sets the tone so perfectly. One of their best. Really glad it's your top pick. It would have been my second.
I'm gonna part of me already, this is so stupid. I hate this already. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna pick Man Overboard for the following reasons. For the following reason. Hearing So Sorry It's Over used again felt like I had been reading like a comic for a long time and was reading a nod to a past issue, and I was being rewarded for being a fan for so long or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, they've said that before. I swear to God. I rushed back to Dude Ranch on my iPod and listened through the whole album to hear it. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, it's on Untitled. Oh, yeah. Then I went and listened to Man Overboard again and again. Underrated music video. I guess it's a little dated in terms of tone or whatever, but recreating all the small things video, which they've done 3 times. There's like 3 versions now, kind of where Adam Devine's in the one, and then there's the one where they're all sleeping in the van, which is the Man Overboard video. But between that and Not Now, I think if you and I had to pick one or the other, me being quote unquote Team Mark, I obviously would be the Man Overboard. But I do think it's one of their best. I think it belongs on the Greatest Hits album, and I just fundamentally, lyrically, I like it a lot.
It's so good. I feel like I always forget about that song, but it is incredible. So good. Great pick, man.
It's just interesting to me, Not Now and Man Overboard on the Greatest Hits. It is the direction each, they are the perfect and best flexes of Team Tom and Team Mark. You know what I mean? Like, Not Now is such a bridge to Angels and Airwaves catalog, and Man Overboard, it's like better than any Plus 44 song, I guess. I think my point is like, it is the best Mark, so that's a good Mark song. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, there's no really eloquent way to put it, maybe, but they're both really, really cool examples of the different ways this band can sound. And I don't know if we just like bulldozing over the fact that it really blew my mind when I first heard this band, and they just had 2 good singers and could, like, listening to the album. Was this a Tom song? Was this a Mark song? Was this or that? Were they both singing? Why? What fit who? Listening to it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times to figure out why they made certain decisions. Mm-hmm. That aspect, it gets lost, maybe over time as we get older, but that really was cool to me when I remember first hearing the band. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, I will love everything this band does.
So, Tom, you have 2 picks coming up. It's your second and third. I don't feel good about what I just picked, other than that I feel good, but I didn't like play the game well in terms of hits or popularity or anything. So I'm a little nervous about the competitive nature of it all. I'm gonna do it to you, and I'm really sorry. I'm gonna have to pick First Date as my number 2 pick. And it's because, like, again, when I first was discovering this band, I was like lime wiring anything I could possibly find, and found some 41 songs. I found Lost Prophets. I found like all kinds of Unwritten Law, all kinds of bands that were labeled as Blink-182. But one of the first ones that I downloaded was like I think it was Riding in Vans with Boys. There was like a little Blink segment, and they were playing First Date live on the stage. And I was like, oh my God, forever and ever. Let's make this last forever. You can just like sing the same words over and over in a chorus, and it's this good. And it blew my 11-year-old mind. Like, how are they getting away with this? The early days of listening to music like that, just to me, for like my equivalent was probably like, oh, another guy sings. Ooh. You know what I mean?
What? And then we've got Forever the Sickest Kids, where like everyone sings.
Everyone sings. It, it's hype. Enjoy the energy.
So like First Date was like one of my first experiences with them. I think I was just discovering Blink. It would have been about the time that Take Off Your Pants and Jacket had just come out. I was like discovering it 2001, 2002. And it just kind of blew my mind. Like the drum fills and how quickly it went into the chorus. And of course we dressed up as this band for Halloween. I think we did a killer fucking job. Photo in the show notes, reminiscentpodcast.com/episode/182. The video is hilarious. I mean, everything about the song is like quintessential Blink-182, perhaps?
It's a good question. It's probably their best, most popular. Wait, what am I trying to say here? Gotta be a contender for best video. Gotta be a contender for best fast song. I remember a lot of reviews of Miss You being like, they've put the distortion away for a minute to try to top the charts without faster distortion. I mean, is it their, is it the feather in their cap? That's a fucking loaded question for sure, but quintessential Blink-182. Yeah, sure. I mean, no, all the small things might be. Damn it, Tom. Why do we even do this? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But maybe, it's probably, if anybody out there, I would say 60 to 80% of kids our age had Enema and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket at least in full on their iPod, even kids you wouldn't expect. And then there was like the rest had, if they were going to have 4 Blink songs, that would be one of them, I think is how I would phrase it.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I'm so sorry to everyone that loves the other albums more. I'm going to stick with Enema and hit you with, oh God. I'm really torn. I think I'm going to go Wendy Clear because again, this is a song that we covered.
I just exhaled like there's money on the line or something like that. I knew you were going to take First Date and All the Small Things just because, so I left those off and I was like, can I work this in a way that I can beat Tom if he has those, which is almost impossible because those are 2 dynamite songs. One quick note about First Date. I remember my mom would get mad. I'd fall asleep with headphones in. She was like, you're going to choke to death? And I'd be a bad mother if that happened, right? So maybe we don't. Anyway, I would do it anyway. But I remember listening to it hundreds and hundreds of times. And then eventually I heard in the verse for the first time this dun 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 dun, like this little like layered guitar part. And you started to envision them playing the instrument. It was just kind of almost like from a production standpoint for the first time. I was like, oh, interesting. Okay, why would they add that? They added that. You know what I mean? So it's almost like you can envision the layers as like what of 17-year-old, like
right,
kind of deconstructing, pretending you were playing producer as you were falling asleep at night or something. But yeah, that was just really fun for me.
Love that. That's so awesome, man. It's so fun when you notice, like I remember listening to Adam's song for years. And then one day on the very last chorus, he says, when I get home, there's like a harmony on Get Home. And it blew my fucking mind. I made my girlfriend listen to it, who was like a singer. And she's like, yeah, it's a harmony. I was like, well, this isn't the most incredible thing you've ever heard in your life. What are you talking about?
They really do come out of nowhere. It'll be a mood, but you can't plan for it, kind of. It's like you're just like driving something. You're just like, oh my God. And then you have to listen to it again. Like, I just noticed the new thing about this. It's like, I guess I'm not big on rereading novels. Perhaps I should be, but there's just so many things to do in this world.
Right.
But like, I'm sure you notice new things here and there, rewatching movies, this and that. Oh, I never noticed that, this and that, or what the artist was going for in certain respects. But it's really a truly fun thing.
Yeah. But to talk more about Wendy Clear, we covered this as a band when we were like 15, 16. I very specifically remember playing it at the VFW show where we made like weirdly a ton of money and bought you a bass amp from, and just like, I felt dialed in. I was playing drums, you were on bass, our buddy Zach was singing and playing lead guitar. And I listened to Enema nonstop, but I don't know if I like usually was done listening by the time I got to Wendy Clear, and I always started at track 1. So I just like wasn't as familiar with it. And it blew my mind, like something about like the simplicity, but also like how pleasing the chord progression is. I don't know, man, the drums are so like laid back and fun. It was like we were very limited on what Blink-182 songs we could play because I was 15, not nearly as good as Travis Barker. So I love the fact that I could actually play this song. I had a lot of fun playing with you guys, so I hold it very, very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you put the Aliens Exist intro drum intro on one of our songs, and it was pretty apparent. And yeah, like, oh, who are your influences? Oh, let me take a wild fucking guess. It was good though. I just remember, like, to your point, like, oh, we worship them so hard at multiple levels and on multiple levels. So that's your 3 and 4.
That's my 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Okay, so let's do this, if you don't mind. Okay, I'm gonna go Josie. It's my favorite Dude Ranch track. It might be my favorite Blink-182 song.
It's so good. Oh my God.
I love that in the music video, they all have either bleach blonde hair for Tom or purple hair for Mark. I love that Alyssa Milano just goes to high school with them in that video. Like, yeah, super duper, sure. Funny video, I guess, whatever, old drummer. I was prepping for the show to Dude Ranch. I'm like, oh my God, is Dude Ranch my favorite of theirs? And halfway through, I was like, man, maybe not. We'll see. And then I got like 4 songs into Enema, and I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot. But truly, Damn It never sang to me as much as Josie did. It's a great love song. It's a great crush song, girl song, whatever. When you're a teen, and again, no examples of this really to officially have somebody you could like put the title of girlfriend on and like come home to tacos or whatever the like, what, I have a small apartment. No, I was living with my parents in high school, but so like you can't really relate to the lyrics on that level like in a real way, but maybe that's what being a music fan as a teen is all about. Anyway, takes me away to a better place, and I know that everything's going to be fine. Just kind of hit, I don't know, it hit. It's I don't know, as a Team Mark individual, that's another Dynamite Mark song. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? Any Dude Ranch thoughts in general? When I was listening, I filled up my page of notes with too much Dude Ranch notes. By the time I got to self-titled, I was like, I was scribbling in the corners and stuff. But there's a lot. Here's a quick Dude Ranch note. The song Emo, a minute 46 in, you kind of hear them go, Tom is expanding his use of octaves and things like that. And it's not just farty, slappy, snare punk, San Diego punk anymore. You know what I mean? They're starting to like, you can kind of hear what would eventually become a very good Enema record in real time. It's just fun being a fan of a band and revisiting it and be like, oh, that's kind of what ends up turning into fucking ultimately Angels and Airwaves, to be honest. But you're just like, oh man, they could have gone in this direction that was so obvious, but they didn't, and that's so cool. I don't know, there's just moments on Dude Ranch where you're just proud and happy as if you had anything to do with it, or just gushing as a fan, I guess. But I just fucking love Josie. It's probably my favorite of theirs.
It's so good. It's like so pure. It's so fun. I remember I went to karaoke with my buddy Tyler, who played bass in my band in college, and he like signed me up to sing Josie because like I sang in a band, but I was terrified of karaoke. He went up with me and we like tag teamed this song together, and it was like such a train wreck, but our band ended up covering it. So good. Really, really fun song live, and never gets old.
Something about like people say, I guess like music purists like to hate on Green Day, like get over yourself, like because they made punk popular, whatever, right? They were the pop punk forefathers or whatever the it doesn't matter. Like they were just good at what they did? I don't know. But Blink I've always wrestled with whether or not they're an emo band, but it's a song about a girl, and they're I don't know if they're pining. I mean, they're dating the girl in the song, but I always viewed Blink as like a more approachable, I don't have to be like Sunny Day Real Estate laying on the floor about this. You know what I mean? Like there's no like yelping or pining alone in an empty room or something. You know what I mean? Like there was like a pacing and a tone and not a happiness, but like, because there are certainly some Blink songs that are, gut punches, but I don't know. There was something more approachable about like, I like this girl's not my girl. I'm in high school, fart, fart, fart. You know what I mean? There was something like like they did to emo, maybe I'm way off on this. I'm just this is the first time I've really kind of experimenting with vocalizing this take on the show, but did they do to emo what Green Day did to punk? Probably not. I think that's probably oversimplifying and maybe missing a few of the finer points. I don't know if you agree, but there was something approachable about having a crush and not having to go to the depths of fucking hell to like experience those feelings via music. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Totally. Yeah.
I think that's what I appreciate about Josie.
It's fun, it's simple, it's pure, it's kind of innocent. It's reminiscent of like a better time in your life for sure. So no apple juice in the hall. It's just
and we do a podcast about emo music. I'm not talking those days where you ventured in those directions, But anyway, I think that's what I'm trying to describe what I like about Josie. I'll make my other pick before dragging this podcast out 4 hours. I'm gonna pick Carousel. And if you're thinking, is this going to? I have to at least admit that I know some of the catalog before Dude Ranch, not a ton. Tom and I are posers for sure. But my note here is that the Buddha intro is better, but I think the Cheshire Cat song overall is a better version. But I do love that Buddha intro. I think that's the intro that feels right for what the song Carousel is. But the Cheshire Cat full version is kind of like, I don't know. Maybe that might be the better whole song version. I kind of wrestle with that. I do fucking love Carousel though. So I wanted to make sure I picked it before we got too deep here.
I'm really glad that like the Mark, Tom, and Travis show introduced me to a lot of the older songs because I was like starting at Enema of the State. Really,
hey, this one's for everyone who knew us before we were famous or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like, man, I feel like we're not even going to get to talk about the Mark, Tom, and Travis show today, which is fine. Perhaps that's a whole nother discussion. But it was a way to look at the band and the harmonies and the guitar parts in a whole new light. It was fun as a fan.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about that for a minute real quick before making your picks, but
sure.
Or pre-Dude Ranch stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Like the Tom, Mark, and Travis show was like this whole new seeing animated them, how they viewed themselves, the fucking rabbit. I don't even know that much about the lore of the rabbit. There was just like, there's so much more about this band's other than them using the phrase, so sorry it's over twice in their catalog. Like there's just more to, what's this banana?
Yeah, that album definitely like changed some of my influences of like, again, like it introduced me to a lot of their older stuff that I really enjoyed, but didn't really know about it at the time. I'm like eternally grateful to that album. I love all the banter, like just tracks of them talking and, being 12, it was so bad. Like how crude they were. Like it was so fun. So yeah, we'll have to do like a Mark, Tom, and Travis show episode, which again, we cannot possibly do well, but it's a good one.
Couldn't agree more. I remember one of my buddies from the neighborhood used to be like, oh, I listened to it, and those guys are assholes. I just don't like him anymore. I'm like, you don't like him anymore? What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, what? We're 14. You know what I mean? Like, what are you, Puritan now? Like, I don't know. Like, right. What like weird religious sect has abducted you? Like, what are you off-put by the fart stuff? Like, this is the only thing that matters to us. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I felt betrayed almost.
Totally. Totally, man.
Like, what about the cuckoo caca pee pee didn't you understand?
Oh my God. Okay. I want to apologize, but I can't. I gotta pick the Party Song as my number 4, just like straight Enema for the top 4.
Let's go, motherfuckers.
Oh. I did not hear that for a long time. That's so good. So, okay. My dad lives about 45 minutes away from where my mom lived when I grew up, and I would see him every other weekend, but we kind of negotiated this deal where like for 2 weeks in the summer, we could stay with him for 2 weeks. And it was like the best 2 weeks ever. And I stayed with him like almost immediately after I discovered Enema of the State. And I burned a copy of the CD. I took it with me. And I remember having my fucking Discman in my pocket. He has 5 acres of land, and he would like, I loved mowing the lawn. It would take me like 4.5, 5 hours. And just listening to Enema of the State over and over and over. And I remember the lyrics, things on their chest and the things they suggest. And I was like, man, the way he rhymed that was so interesting. And I loved the chorus. And I went inside, I put the CD into his stereo, and I sat in the room trying to find this song. And since it starts so differently than it ends up sounding like, I went through the album listening to the first 15, 20 seconds like 5 times. And I thought I like hallucinated this song because I couldn't find the chorus that I was looking for. And I finally realized like, okay, if you wait out the fast part, it goes into the chorus, you remember. And I just have like such strong memories of like hearing this for the first, or like my first memory of it on the lawnmower, doing something that to me was relaxing. And I always loved mowing lawns, and just like suddenly hearing this rhyme in a chorus. And it was like, this makes so much sense to me. Like no song has ever been so pleasing to my ears before.
Weirdly, there's a a tweet from Less Than Jake recently where they were like, touring in the 90s was great. There's a picture of me and Mark. And then I was listening, prepping for the show today, and there's a quick ska band diss in the party song. And I know it's not about Less Than Jake on the tour or whatever, but like, he's like, at this frat party in the song, there's a ska band, like a college ska band. I'm like, I don't know.
Terrible
like,
ska band, yeah.
yeah. I was just like, oh, God.
Also, my last memory of this song is when Megan and I kind of first started dating. We drove from Virginia to my dad's house, and I mentioned it on like the road trip draft. I just listened to Enema on repeat, and the party song came on, and Megan and I are still getting to know each other. I don't think she knew how important Blink-182 is to me. And she just bust out every single lyric of the party song, all the fast stuff. And I was like, I'm going to fucking marry this girl. Like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Was that the moment you knew?
Honestly, kind of.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not even going to mock that. That's honestly a very beautiful story. That's awesome. Do you have another one after this?
Yes, that's my pick number 4. Pick number 5. Oh, dude, I suck. I might have to go with I Miss You. Because
you fucking asshole. No, I'm just kidding. Damn, I really love that song. It ruled my iTunes. It was my snood song. I'd tell the story about our old computer, all the like local EPs I had from the shows we would go to, and then it just broke one day and I didn't have a hard drive or anything. I know. Oh God. But that and Island in the Sun by Weezer were like, if you wanted to get 5th grade to 8th grade or 9th or 10th out of the way, it was just that song on repeat for it. Just like, and it was the first Blink album that came out when I was of age enough to like, this is a band I like that came out with a new record, so I'm going to obsess over it. It was self-titled. Like everything else had come out already. I was getting burned copies from older siblings.
Yeah.
But Miss You was like the first hit. I was like, this is my shit. I own this shit. I found this shit, even though I didn't find it.
Right.
But you know what I mean? It's just like, oh man. I truly loved it. I'm very upset with you.
So this album came out when I was 12, and it was like very soon after I discovered Blink, and I was doing theater, and I met this girl, Liz, and we just like kind of fell in love with each other, but we were like never an item or anything. We used to go to the mall all the time, like before or after shows. We would just be mall rats and walk around. And I remember one time we were at the mall with our friend Sam, and as soon as we walked in the door, I Miss You came on, and and we all, I don't even remember communicating it. The three of us just sat on the bench at the entrance of the mall to just like absorb the song. And then when the song ended, we just got up and like went to Hot Topic or something. But like, I just remember like, that. Stop everything. I Miss You was on the radio.
I think I was trying to describe that feeling when you're driving, and we were talking about driving cross country without a playlist, and you're looking for the radio and you're trying to guess which station might play something you like, and then you land on something by chance that you really would like to hear in that moment.
Yeah.
There's something very nice about that. I totally get that. I love that Hot Topic was the store you went to after. There's just a lot about that story to like.
Back when they still had the flame logo or whatever.
Yeah, this the new corporate smooth logo is like, I don't know what's going on. Do you guys even know who you are? You ever know?
So anyway, we did the episode on I Miss You. I think it's a very good episode. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. I love this song, and I think I appreciated it even more after hearing the live at the Pepsi Smash version, where they played with the distortion, full band. Travis was just wailing on the drum set. I think it was so cool to almost like hear a band cover their own song and do it so well. I fucking LimeWired or Kazad the video for that and just watched it over and over and over. And I still watch it to this day just because it's so good. Again, link in the show notes. If you haven't heard the live at the Pepsi Smash version of I Miss You, you're super missing out on another angle of this song that is like beautiful in a very similar, but in a way that's like just totally unique. And it's so cool that it wasn't another band covering it. It was like Blink doing their own cover. So fucking cool.
Chicka chicka hell yeah. So I have my third, fourth, and fifth.
5th and 6th.
Fifth and okay, we're moving along. That's good because we're not running long. We wanted to enjoy ourselves, but we're going to hopefully get to 10 at some point here.
Dude, let's just make the episode 182 minutes.
Oh, let's just keep trucking. But maybe, sure. I can stretch. If you need me to stretch, I'll stretch right now. I mean, like if we even thought about it for a minute, the notion of needing to go even a little bit longer, it would involve us, having a little conversation, maybe non-Blink related, to reminisce, not to, be too groan worthy. But yeah, if we needed to stretch or cut down, there's plenty of, we can give you some stuff on the cutting room floor in which you could, after the fact. Just kidding. Okay. Roller coaster. Let's go roller coaster.
I thought that was going to be your first one.
The thing is, so for the first...
I love this story, dude. I love this story.
I don't even know if you know the story. I guess you have to.
Oh, I know.
For the first, 15 years of my life, I guess, the biggest crush ever on girl in the neighborhood, went to school together. There was, church group, blah, 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 all this stuff. There was something about the notion of, I have this dream about you again where I drive my car off a cliff, But the first version of the chorus is he waits outside until she lets him in. But there's also a dark turn to it where he drives because I remember having a dream at a very young age where I guess it was those medieval weapons with the cannonball with the spikes.
Yeah.
You just swing it. It's like a X-Men villain silhouette with something like that for an arm. I can't really quite place where it would have come from, but he just came to my doorway and I woke up. I'm like, what the was that? So it wasn't all dreams about this girl and love and all that. It was just that's pretty ominous. Anyway, I just remember Mark kind of reading my mind in the sense of crush, yep, weird, yep, so he's going a little crazy just even thinking about the notion. Was that even the story you expected to hear?
No, I confused it with Reckless Abandon, where you thought it was 45 seconds of silence. So I'm just going to edit that out.
Oh, I'll pick that later to tell that story, maybe.
I might pick it. I don't know. I love that song.
Oh, yeah. No, do your thing. Yeah, breathing deeply, walking backwards, finding strength to call. I remember I called once and asked for her brother because her dad answered and I was scared as shit. And you had to do actual phone calls, be you know what, actually this is the person I'd like to talk to. And then when the brother came to the phone, I was like, can you hand the phone to your sister? He's like, you f***ing asshole.
Dude, actually, okay, so when I was in marching band, I actually became pretty good friends with her brother, and I remember sleeping over at his house a couple times, and then his sister, your crush, came out in PJs, and I was like, I think I'm living past fantasy right now.
Yeah. We eventually dated a little, if you can consider high school dating, which I guess you can. Yeah, certainly. Later in life, but it was kind of first full decade of life, crush for sure. So it was, the soundtrack to it was definitely Mark Hoppus.
That's awesome.
His voice.
That's so
cool. Yeah, that one has roller coaster favorite. Yeah, there's just the concept of dreams going one way or the other, depending on how it just really exploring the subconscious was a new thing as a human, being
right.
Oh, I guess I never thought to think about my dreams. You know what I mean? It was just fun. Anyway, so that's my pick for that. And let's go here. It's between that and the Rock Show a lot on when I look at Take Off Your Pants. I'm saying the name Rock Show, I'm not picking it, but it's just are they even? And then I'm no, Roller Coaster is my shit.
Gotcha.
Let's do this. How about we do this, Tom? You ready?
Yep.
I don't want to leave this on the board. Online songs.
Oh, son of a that's so good. Ugh.
I didn't even remember how good it was.
I know. It's sneaky good.
Until I was doing the research for the show today. I'm like, this was my jam for maybe a full 3-year period. You know what I mean?
Right.
He mentions Josie again. I'm like, I was there for that.
Right.
Check. I know who he's talking about. You just as a fan, you're like, I've been there for you, Mark. I know who you're talking about. Please be my friend. Just totally lame teen. But that was my thought. I'm like, yep, got it. I'm so in tune with this. I was expecting him to say that. It's the saga of, I don't know, it hates, what's the Onion article where it's Eminem very dismayed to find out that his daughter dating boy raised on his music or whatever. It sucks that the fart punk of San Diego's scene kind of gave us the first few things we learned about what relationships could or should or be thought about or how they're thought about. But they were, And yeah, online songs also fucking rips. It seems to be kind of a Twitter thing where people just hound Mark's mentions with like not playing it live very often or something like that. I don't know if you know anything about that. I don't know a ton, but like there seems to be a bit of a movement to like have them play online songs more often in person, perhaps. I might be making that up, but it's so good, man. And I was kicking myself for thinking today when I was doing the research, like, oh, Dude Ranch might be my favorite. Got past Enema, was immediately wrong. Then I got into Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. I'm like, I'm just a damn fool. Just online songs came and I'm like, why? No! Like Rock Show and Roller Coaster are waiting for me songs from now, and I'm already convinced that this is way better than Dude Ranch. It's just the evolution of the band it was nice to grow up with them and kind of grow into, what eventually blossomed into their current musical endeavors, I guess. But I'm rambling. I'll give the ball back to you.
It sucks. I wish we could do way more songs because I'm leaving. I know I'm going to leave so many good ones, and people are going to be so upset.
Well, it's kind of like the party song. He's talking so fast. There's just like, yeah, fast, speed. You know what I mean? Like, it's just. And AIM was the shit, so it's like made sense. Anything about online communication was just like, yep, that's my life as well.
Right. Oh God, oh God, let me think about this. It's getting like really dire. It's always like the ones in the middle are the hardest.
Yeah, I knew I was going to give you two of their best songs. I'm like, can I fucking, chip away at Tom's early lead and try to dig myself out of this fucking early hole? And I don't know if I've done that, but I'm interested to see how these next few rounds go for sure.
When we do drafts, I keep track of like the order and who picked it. And since we don't usually do like band drafts, I usually keep track of the artist name too. And I just realized that I'm like 14 picks in and I keep putting by Blink-182, by Blink-182.
But we've done... You are nothing if not thorough. Right. So that's good.
This is a weird one. I didn't see myself picking this so early. I'm going to pick Down off of Self-Titled.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah.
Which I'm shocking myself here, but I think a part of it is like we had a talent show in high school. It was called Academy on Parade or something. Just like something that sounded real outdated. And we did a medley just because we couldn't pick if we wanted to do Down or You're So Last Summer. So we did both. But
two songs that were begging to be mashed up together.
And I remember the band
there's
director being like, so why did you choose these two songs? And I think Nick Taylor was singing. And he like came up with this like really poetic reason why we picked the two, but really just like, cause they're fucking awesome, But Self-Titled was still pretty new. I loved the beat of Down. I thought it was a really, really fun song to play on drums. And my favorite part was coming out of the chorus into Your Vows of Silence fall all over. The drums drop out, it's down to get to dad, and the drums like and it was like my favorite fill in the world at the time. And I remember like being so excited to play it, but we totally whiffed it because Adam, who played in our band, he went to change his distortion, but he accidentally stepped on the tuner, so it muted his guitar. And then I was like, what's happening?
Oh, no.
And then I came in late and it was like real awkward.
No. Do you remember when we played it it was actually the only time Adam sang a song live, I feel like. We played it at, I forget the name of the gay bar, but they were always so nice to us. But it's where we played, honestly.
Trance.
The Trance. We played a good batch of shows there, and there was honestly a pretty good
great
crowd there every time. Honestly, some of our better shows. But Adam was like pretty adamant. He's like, I think this is in my range. I think I can handle it. And I don't remember how it went, but I just remember him like fighting for it and being happy for him that he got to, because I know he had been too nervous to. So like just from like a friend's personal growth standpoint, it was fun to see him take his little Gibson SG Fall Out Boy replica or whatever and play that and sing it, because he practiced so much in his room. You could tell he had really wanted to for a while. So just from a friend standpoint, that was fun as
I don't remember playing it live ever other than the talent show. Are you sure?
I have so few actual live performance memories of 400 Park because I was never there, that trust me, this did happen, yes.
Interesting. Awesome. Yeah, I love the song. I listened to Self-Titled for like months on end with nothing in between. I don't think it stuck with me as much as Enema and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket did, but there's a lot of good songs. Like there's some other ones I might pick from it. It's a really good album.
The other week I tweeted and you were so pissed that I did, but I was like, California's better than Neighborhoods. And then, you know, Ducks, and everyone went fucking ballistic on me. And then you were like, I don't know if I want to release this on the show, but I like Neighborhoods better than fucking Self-Titled. I was like, oh, I will let you tweet that if you want. But both of our kind of bashful Twitter Self-Titled takes are feel free to just kill us in the comment section or at _Reminiscent FM on Twitter.
I think it just has more to do with where I was in my life when each of them came out.
Here's what's so weird. Neighborhoods, I have never even really given it the full time, a full respectable few listens. And they're one of my favorite bands, and there's just a record of theirs out there sitting there. It's including the original lineup really that I really should visit. And I was thinking about that today, preparing for the draft, and knowing that I like half of it a lot. Like, why didn't I, like, it's so weird. All these years have passed, and you're like, would do anything for another record with Tom involved. But I'm like, I haven't even listened to Neighborhood. Like, is that really what I want? Would I value it the same way? As like a Weezer apologist / mega fan, I eat up all their shit regardless. And whether I like it or not, I guess is neither here nor there. There's just so much of it to dig through. But Neighborhoods is just sitting there for the taking for me. And I guess I'm a little disappointed in myself that I haven't actually taken the time to try to like it. Like Dude Ranch, when I first got it, that Brad McShane's burned copy, the audio quality was different. I was like, what the f*** is this? But I like trained myself to love it. Yeah. I didn't do that. And just like growing up, I don't know what it is. I didn't do that with Neighborhoods, but I feel like I should, like I will, and I should, but it's a weird thing.
It's a really good record, man. I would strongly encourage you to like give it a good chance.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it next time I mow the lawn or something. Just that thing where you're listening to it on repeat 2 or 3 times, and then the third time through, one of the songs pops for some reason. Like you hear a chorus, you're like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. Well, what's this? I'll make a note, and then okay, I like this song. Let's go through it 3 more times. I should, and I will. Whose pick is it, by the way, and what picks are we on?
I've got one more. It is my 7th pick, and I'm gonna go with The Rock Show. You fucking have to, like,
oh yeah,
you have to. I mean, almost no explanation necessary.
She said what, songs. And I told her that I didn't know. Know. It's like, I don't even care. That's the most.
It's so good. And actually, I want to share a story about our friend Jake, who is like the nicest dude in the world, one of the best bassists I've ever met in my life, and
sneaky,
like crazy good, and like works super hard for it, makes the best burgers I've ever had as well. And I remember he dated this girl in high school, and he was a very good storyteller as well. And he was telling everyone at the table how like he was going on a date with this girl, and we're like, what? Tell us everything. And he was like, just so smooth, so nonchalant. And it was like groundbreaking information he was giving us. He said he was sitting next to her on a bench, and he didn't know how to start the conversation. So he just was like, what? And she was like, oh, I didn't say anything. And he was like, oh, sorry. And then like, that's how he broke the ice. And we were all like, oh my God, we are in the presence of a fucking genius right now. Like, he knew she didn't say anything. Like, it was all, this calculated thing. It was so brilliant. So brilliant.
I remember when any of us at our lunch table had talked to a girl at all, it was like, cool, let's analyze what you did. How'd you do? It was kind of like a little meeting. I'm like, cool, that was a bit of a misstep. Let's see. It's like, we're all going to use this information somehow. And then there's this, obviously there's the one out of many friends that is actually having like, say, intercourse, and it's just like, that's usually the stories that ended up popping out. But like,
tell me Jake, everything you know.
What's this new flirt thing you did? You just went up and said hello? Tell me more. It's just like, it's, like looking for anything other than fart rock from San Diego to build your opinions on, which obviously the lunch table recommendations were probably not the best either. So anyway, that's to me, and I'm going 8, 9, 7, 8.
You're on 7 and 8 right now.
Okay. Penultimate round for me. Okay. Okay, here's two picks that are very true to my teen self, which I said earlier in the show is what I was going to go for. Every Time I Look for You and Story of a Lonely Guy.
Whoa. Back to back?
Those are my two picks.
All right.
Take it back. I 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 didn't put the chess piece down. I didn't put the chess piece down. I didn't put the chess piece down.
All right.
I take it back. I take it back. Can I?
I'll allow one. No, you can do whatever you want.
Okay. I realized I'm not crossing them off like I usually do, because usually after the show, you're like, what'd you pick? And I'm like, I don't know. I erased everything. So now I have no grasp. I haven't been doing any notes, so I don't know what's been picked and what's not. And I was like, oh, shit, I made an actual list. I should stick to it. Going Away to College is my next pick.
Oh, dude.
Thanks for letting me redo that, because I just looked, I'm like, oh my fucking God, no way are those my next picks. But they kind of are in my heart. I don't know. We'll get there. Anyway, Going Away to College, senior banquet. Like, we made the video for the end of our high school career. There was like, there were betting odds, you wouldn't have made much money betting that song was going to be on the playlist for that video we made. Like, it was just kind of a no-brainer, I guess. But the clean guitar kills me. The bouquet of clumsy words, the simple melody kills me.
Yeah.
When Mark does his job well, it fucking kills me. What can I say? I think that's the theme of this episode. The reason I'm Team Mark, I'm kind of realizing it during the recording of this podcast episode. When he was doing his job well as a teen, it just nothing made clearer sense to me. That's my pick. I don't even have a story about the song or anything like that. Okay, I'll put my mouth towards the mic for a little while. Okay, for a little while. Let's do this. You know what we haven't picked?
Uh-oh.
Do you know what the we haven't picked?
Uh-oh.
What's my age again?
Oh, man. Good. Okay.
Here I was with Every Time I Look for You and Story of a Lonely Guy. Get the out of here. You made a big mistake letting me repick those. What's my age again? Yeah. Payphone references, 90s. Yeah, I guess. I'm not that proud of the 90s, whatever. What am I trying to say? Yeah, for the song itself, the video. I don't know. You tell me. Are you mad I picked it? What's going on? Their best hit? ? One of their top 5?
I wouldn't have picked it, but I do love the song. I loved being around the age 23 and just seeing what a huge part of culture it was for like everyone on their 23rd birthday for people to post this music video on their wall. I very specifically remember you messaging like everyone on Facebook. It would have been like when Facebook was pretty new. Like, it's my sister's 23rd birthday. Can you post the What's My Age Again music video on her wall? And just like seeing hundreds of this video on her wall.
She tried to return the favor, to her credit, but everyone kind of knew that I had done it to her already a few years earlier. So I don't think she did it to me as well. But what was interesting about her returning the favor on that was Brad McShane. Again, actually, a lot of my Blink memories revolve around Brad McShane. When I don't talk to him at all. He's a nice guy, though. Can grow a dynamite mustache, but so can his dad. I mean, go figure. Anyway, he posted the YouTube version where you can post 10 hours of something.
Oh, yeah.
So it's 10 hours of the nobody likes you when you're 23. Nobody likes you when you're 23. And I sat there in college, and this is so stupid, but every birthday, used to get like real sad on birthdays, would listen to that one Ben Folds song where it's like, everybody knows it sucks to grow up. And I'd be like, I would just sit alone and not tell anybody about that little tradition and just sit there and be like, I don't know, just like very upset. College was a whole thing. But I remember getting like 17 minutes deep into that repeated chorus thing. And it got so demented and so in my head. And so like, I actually sat through 17 full minutes of that song, or that, that YouTube video where they just repeat, nobody likes you when you're, nobody likes you when you're, nobody. It was like weird torture, but like, I just sat there and kind of weirdly reflected while it was going on. And it had a very negative impact on me, but I do love the song. But that is an interesting. Yeah, you're right. Facebook was still kind of like fun or cool. Like, hey, look at how many people from across the country we can get to spam my sister's birthday.
Right.
But it's kind of a cool thing, Anyway. Yes, that's my pick.
Awesome, man. That's a good one. My number 8, gonna be Damn It. And here's why. So again,
it's a good pick.
It's a good song. My band covered it. I loved covering the song. The band would go crazy. I remember one time we were practicing at band practice, and Megan and I were very newly dating. and screaming into the mic, "Did you hear I f***ed her?" And I pointed at Megan. And she was like so embarrassed, but she was like, "It was kind of hot though." I did this at karaoke once too. Our band covered it a lot. But my favorite memory of this was actually, it was like right when I was getting interested in playing drums for my 7th grade project in school. My dad helped me make this like drum set out of sheet metal and like pots and pot lids. And it was actually like a really sick little drum set that I made. And my stepbrother, who was also your friend Corey, he would be at our house like 3 days a week. And his friend, you're going to have to help me with the name. There were 2 brothers. Dave. No, not Dave. One played guitar, one played drums. Joey and...
Oh, the Dislers.
What were their names?
JJ and Jeremy.
Yes, I think so. I think it was them. So one of Corey's friends, I think JJ was the younger one.
Yeah, I think they had some instruments. They were pretty good at anything they did, honestly. They good athletes, good musicians, good skateboarders.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So I was having a really hard time remembering their names. One of them came to the house and was like, "Hey, is Corey here?" And I was like, "No." And I thought it was so kind of him to be like, "Oh, what are you up to?" Like, I didn't really know the guy, but I don't know how I found out that he played drums, and I was like, I really want to play drums. I had this little pot and pan thing that I made it's in my room if you want to check it out. And he was like, "Yeah, dude, totally." And then he was like, "Hey, would you want to come over to my house? I have a drum set. Like, I can teach you how to play."
Was it near the
things."
country fair?
I don't know. It was down
That house?
Yeah. It was definitely JJ Disler, the younger one.
Hmm.
So I think he was on a skateboard, or one of us was on a skateboard and a bike. I think I just had a skateboard and he like towed me on his bike, bombed this huge hill, which I was like way too young to be trying to bomb. And he took me to his house, and I remember seeing his drum set, and it was like the first drum set I had seen in person. And I told him that I had my first drum lesson in a couple days. And he was like, "Oh man, I would love to teach you this beat." And it was just like a poof, ka, poof, poof, ka. And I was like, "This guy's so good," just like losing my mind. And then his older brother came home and he was like, "Oh, dude, get your guitar. Let's play this song." And they played Damn It.
No way.
And it was the first time I had ever seen anyone play punk music live. And I remember sitting on their steps, watching them jam in the basement. And it was like I had gone to an alternative dimension, and I was like seeing these 2 guys be fucking rock stars in their basement, playing this music that, like, again, this was before I even knew about Dude Ranch. I knew Enema of the State and stuff, but it blew my mind to see 2 people. And his brother like wasn't planning on playing guitar. He was like, "Yeah, I'll just pick it up and, hey, do you want to play this song? Sure, let's do it." And it blew my fucking mind. Like, it was splattered on the walls. I'd never seen anything like it. If you remember Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, when Knives watches them play for the first time, they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, and the room gets real long, and she's like, "Oh my God." Like, that's how I felt. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Nice
before
Scott
in my
Pilgrim
life.
reference, by the way.
It's like one of the best movies ever.
That's very interesting to me because I remember him and John Stevenson coming to one of our Fire Hall shows, and there's an element of, well, what are you doing, of growing up in Erie, I think, in general. Like, "Oh, Corey's not here. I'm not doing shit. What are you doing?" It's
Yeah.
like, drum stuff? Sure. My afternoon just opened right up. Let's go play some drums, dude. That just sounds like Westville or Lawrence Park to me.
It was so awesome, and it's something that I had never experienced. Again, like, I was really struggling to fit in with my own friends because they wanted to be like golfers and like cross-country runners, football. Like, they played every sport.
Well, you went to like Catholic school, so there was maybe a different mentality, question mark?
Totally. And I never fit in with them, and it made me feel horrible. So the fact that like I couldn't even fit in with my own friends, but there's this kid I didn't even know who's like, "You just want to hang out," it like meant the world to me that he did that.
Yeah.
So it was a really crazy experience for me as a kid.
I've never heard this memory. I love doing this show because that's fresh. I can't believe that happened, honestly.
I know.
knowing what I know about everyone involved. I think that's honestly incredible. I was listening to Lead Singer Syndrome with the dude from Silverstein, I think it is, but he had the Yellow Card lead singer on recently. And he mentioned a similar story where to him it was like the first time he saw a basement band or a garage band, I don't know, he just gushed about it like, dude, I saw live punk today. Like he was referencing it as if, and this is like a famous musician being like, that was the first punk band I saw. And it was this nothing bass, like, I think I'm interpreting the story correctly, but he was like, you were just saying now, it's like, it was the first time I saw punk live. It was just two dudes doing it, but like music is so cool in that sense, or it's just like, you can have a drum and a guitar and make it fucking happen for somebody. You know what I mean? It's just really, I don't know, not to get too, rah-rah, but like, it's just fucking cool, man. I don't know. That's a fucking amazing story. I've never heard that. I can't believe JJ Digital invited over to his house. And they played Damn It. That's so crazy. That's the craziest shit. That's like, from an Erie, Lawrence Park, Westville standpoint, I don't know how many of our listeners would be that intimately familiar with the individuals we're talking about, but that is legitimately the craziest story. I was in JJ's backyard. It doesn't matter. Let's move on.
The next one is a song that I clung to very early. I'm going to have to go with, I almost don't feel good about it, but the song meant so much to me at the time, Reckless Abandon. It just like, again, I was 12. It made so much sense. I never liked the way that they end the chorus, but it got me hyped for this style of music. It felt like exactly what I've been looking for my whole life. Just on and on, like Reckless.
Is this your 10th pick, you fuck?
No, this is my 9th. I got one more pick.
Either way, fuck you, man. We're just going to send a general fuck you in your direction for how this is going.
It's an incredible song. I love it. And of course, there's like 5 more on the board that I cannot believe I haven't picked yet. And you're going to...
I always hate drafts. I hate the beginning of them. I hate the middle of them. Yeah. I like the middle of them. I hate the end of them, actually. Right. You know the story I'm about to tell. I would go to bed with not the headphone on my pillow ear. I'd sleep on my side. And I thought there was just this giant gap of silence on the record for like 40 seconds of silence forever, and then it's just like as if the song started but and then one day, like months, just like whatever child time felt like months, it might have been 2 days, I don't know, but I listened to it with both headphones and it was like, that guitar on and on. I'm like, oh, there's a fucking beginning to this song. Oh I got to listen to this whole album over and over again just to feel what it's like to transition into that song from, the one before and after it. It changed everything. I felt like such a fucking idiot, though.
I also remember having a burned copy of the CD and trying to draw the artwork onto the CD itself. But my dad would pick us up in his work truck a lot to take us to his place on the weekend, which is always like my favorite moments in life were like being at my dad's house. And I was playing Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, because I knew my dad was cool. He didn't give a shit about swearing or whatever. And in the line, took a shit in the bathroom tub, my dad was like, I have a friend that did that at a party once. And I was like, what, Dad? And he was telling me about...
Your dad's like had an early acting career where he played Ghostbusters with Wayne Brady at Disney World. And like, your dad has a very interesting first third of his life. Dude, whole life.
He moved out at 16 and was like living in New York City alone at 16. Like he's got some fucking stories, dude. And it blows my mind every time how much this guy has lived through in his life. Like stuff I couldn't even imagine experiencing. He's got some great stories, and one of his friends took a shit in the bathroom tub because he swore he could, as my dad put it, drop a log longer than anyone else, and someone told him to prove it, so he did in his bathtub.
That's
which is the most Blink-182 type thing ever.
That's definitely a pre-internet story.
Oh God. So anyways, I think of my dad when I hear this song.
Nothing wrong with that. One. Everybody has their stuff.
Right.
Everybody has the things that yeah. When they reference in the tub, I think of my dad. Just like
Oh man, so you have 9 and 10. So this is your last pick. I'm not worried. You shouldn't be worried about my last pick. You're not going to take it.
Last 2 picks?
Last 2 picks, yeah.
Let's go Feeling This. Okay.
Dude, yes.
Let's just do
thank you.
Self-titled is very good. This song's very
It's
good.
great.
I love that he and Tom did the whole like write the lyrics in separate rooms, come back and kind of mesh thing. They came together perfectly for this song. There's good Mark stuff. There's good Tom stuff. It's a fun song. It's a good summer song. It's a good feeling. The harmonies at the end, I'm like, they're onto some new shit. You know, like they're harmonizing. This is so crazy. What's the rest of this album going to hold? Little did I know it was Moody Tom for the rest of the record. But like feeling this is so good. And maybe my second favorite album opener by them. And maybe my third, honestly, if I'm being honest, is Pathetic. No disrespect to Anthem Part 2, but
damn, dude, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Anyway, feeling this just like makes nothing but sense to me. And it's a good fusion of the both of them. You know, you just feel better about. I don't want to pick Team Tom or Team Mark. I want to love. I want everyone to get along. You know, I want this to last forever and ever. Let's make this last forever. Okay, I will pick a 10th here, and we'll wrap up the episode a little bit after you pick your final pick. Okay, here we go. You know what, Tom? Do you know what the what? I'm making you bleep so many words this episode. I'm so sorry. Like there was no what's that Pete Holmes joke where he's like, I know I've been swearing too much, and my doctor was like, how's your diet been? He's like, I don't really with cheese, and that's like no reason in any context to swear in that scenario. So, okay. Have I mentioned that I hate this?
Last pick, man.
You know,
pressure's on.
You know what? Do you know what?
What?
Mutt.
Wow. Mutt. Okay. I don't.
It's a good jealousy song.
It's a good. I don't like fucking love it, but it's really good. Interesting.
What's great? Well, no. You know what? I take it back.
Oh my God.
Dysentery Gary, because it's the best in their catalog. This place, yeah. Teen me would have been like, what about Every Time I Look for You or Story of a Lonely Guy? I'm like, there was one pick on the board and I went to Dysentery Gary. Teen me would be like, okay, I'm very unfamiliar with the second half of their work catalog-wise, and I respect the decision. I'm like, thanks, Teen me. Also, how's it going with that one person you have a crush on? And Josie makes total sense for you for. It's like, well, you know, not so good actually. I'm like, well, don't even worry about it. It won't matter. You know, it doesn't really matter in the end, so you're good. You're good, pal.
I'm not going to lie.
Also, P.S. Younger me, there's a fucking intro to Reckless Abandon, believe it or not.
I'm not going to lie. My 10th pick, I was split on Dysentery Gary and one other thing. I remember Dysentery Gary, like, bringing in my burned copy of Enema of the State on my first drum lesson, saying, I want to learn all the small things. This is what I'm here for. And he was like, all right, what song is it? And I was like, oh, I forget which one. Like, but whatever you do, don't listen to song number 6, which I think 6 was Dysentery Gary. And of course, him being curious, he went straight to song number 6. And he's like, oh, that's nothing. I remember I had a student one day bring in a song that was just like every swear word there was. And I remember being like, oh, that's so crazy. It was Blink-182, obviously.
Oh,
like he was talking about the same band. And I didn't know that for years. I just thought that was so funny. But I loved Dysentery Gary, but I like didn't listen to it as a kid that much because I was afraid of getting caught listening to music that had swearing in it. But it made it
there's something
that
about
much better.
Utter disdain with feeling helpless when you're young, too young to drive, rent a car, have any independence. Obviously, when you're growing up in the suburbs, I guess, is essentially where we grew up. I don't know. I mean, like you can have your little micro, whatever, but like it doesn't really matter. But when you're a teen, your brain perceives every little thing because your world is smaller, perhaps, and you feel things more deep, and you have more time to make small things large. But
yeah,
this place, I lost the war, and just like the way he kind of spirals at the end, it reminds me a little bit of Mark being like, I had that dream where I drive my car right off a fucking cliff. There's a little bit of chaos to it that opened my brain up to the possibility that, like, man, spiraling is not necessarily healthy, but like, wow, these dudes have written poetry about not feeling very good, you know. And and when you're a young teen, not even teen, 12, 13, whatever, you're just like, interesting. And then I had to ask my neighbor Robbie Warner what the middle finger meant or whatever one time. He's like, oh, you. I'm like, okay. new question. What's you mean? He's like, oh, it's very bad. So like, stuff like that. You're just young. You're still taking all this stuff in, but this place, you know, he calls him mom, he says some stuff that's maybe perhaps dated, but the way it spirals into nonsensical, like, where's my dog? It's just like, I make fun of the San Diego fart punk thing, but there's something about the chaotic nature of the way that song descends into nonsensical lyrics in the end there that does encapsulate how like a young teen would feel when things aren't really going their way that day and a bad piece of news broke. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, where's my dog? It's like, yeah, what?
Even the chorus of this song is like rhythmically chaotic. It's just like all over the place, but it so makes sense somehow. I love this song. I love it so much. And of course, like I said, I always skipped over it when I was listening to it in the car with my mom because of the swear words. So it almost made it feel like this like dark secret that I had of this like really bad song on my Discman or whatever the hell. So it just made me like love it even more. It's like such a secret to me. Enema of the State's the best album that has ever existed. It will always be my favorite.
It's quite good. It's a quick half hour.
Yeah. And just can't wait to do it again.
All right, you got a last pick, and then we'll do honorable mentions.
Okay.
We'll do like a quick give and take honorable mention.
So I want to pick this next one with a disclaimer. I know there are several songs in my honorable mentions that deserve to be my number 10 pick more than this one. I know. You don't need to tweet at me.
To the dark side. Give in to the dark side.
But there's something about Snake Charmer off of Neighborhoods that gets me fucking going. Like, I don't know if it's like the counter melody in the verse, which I find so intriguing. Like, I think it's a very well written song. And the chorus is just like explosive. It's so fun. I think it's a perfect representation of like the really good things that lie within Neighborhoods. I love it. I love this song.
I'm not going to sit here and judge you.
Because good girls, they like to sin. Like, I remember thinking that was like the sexiest line I've ever heard in my life. And, yeah, I loved it, dude. I loved that album.
It's weird revisiting like our youthful interpretations of pretty easy to interpret lyrics. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes any sense. Just like, man, I was that was a long time ago. Now it seems like a very long time ago to have first listened to, Enema or Dude Ranch or any of these things.
Yeah. So that's my number 10 pick. I mean, there's so many good songs and honorable mentions. I want to go through the list.
Yeah. You want to go first, or you want to go pop or like tap them, rattle them off?
Let me recount our entire initial list first, though.
Yeah. Do your mixtape, then my mixtape.
All right. So mine, All the Small Things, First Date, Wendy Clear, The Party Song, I Miss You, Down, The Rock Show, Damn It, Reckless Abandon, and Snake Charmer. Pretty Enema and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, heavy.
Dude, you obviously got like 4 of their best songs on there. So I think you might win off of the strength of hits, but I'm curious to hear what mine ended up looking like.
Yeah. So yours were Dump Weed and Man Overboard. Super strong start. Josie and Carousel, keep just still ripping. Roller Coaster and Online Songs. Going Away to College, What's My Age Again, Feeling This, and Dysentery Gary. Dude, we killed it.
The thing is,
these are their top 20 songs.
I think what's interesting is you had 4 of the hits. Like, you have such big, the fact that you picked up Miss You and I failed to get it earlier because I was being a dickhead or something. But I was so upset when you got that. But I think you might have prevailed here, which is totally fine because it was just fun to go back and revisit. I'm realizing my first 4 picks were pretty self-indulgent, but man, yeah, it was fun to go back. I haven't, it's weird to even say I haven't gone back and listened to any of these albums in longer than probably any gap ever. So it was really fun.
Yeah, we'll have the playlist for our top 20 picks and the honorable mentions at reminiscentpodcast.com/playlists.
It's the first Blink playlist ever made.
Dude, I can't wait to just like spin this for the next
I'm
months.
half kidding. There's probably a million Blink playlists out there, but it'll be ours, and I'll definitely use it. If nothing else, we do this show for our own enjoyment. So
yeah, totally. Well,
as if the Angels and Airwaves blog headline wasn't only to make Tom laugh. Ranking songs from We Don't Need to Whisper based on whether or not they made me speculate wildly about the recording process. I don't know who was supposed to like that other than Tom. Anyway, okay, I'll go first and we'll go back and forth on the honorable mentions. How about that?
Yep.
Every time I look for you, the sun goes down. Every time, up. I love it. Emotional. More of the emotional. I just loved it.
I really like that song. I don't think it's their catchiest melody for a chorus, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
After Midnight,
I
remember hearing this song for the first time when they did their tour in 2011, and they're like, we're playing a new song, and I was just like, I had the pit to myself. I was wearing this bright blue straight edge shirt. I just jumped and danced alone for hours, and when they played the song, I remember thinking like, damn, this new album is going to be good. Like, this one hadn't been released yet. Loved it.
That's so interesting, because I remember really tracking the YouTube stuff and like being like, oh, okay. You know, the memes about Jared Leto's Joker be like, but it's twisted. You know, like people poking fun like, this is the dumbest shit. But like, I remember thinking like, oh, it's Blink, but twisted. You know, like there's something like kind of off about this song, but it rocks. But there's something, you know, not quite right about it or something. Maybe that's what put me off originally, but it does rock super hard. I do love it a lot.
It's bouncy.
I'm going to go stay on that record for one of my honorable mentions. Heart's All Gone. Rocks hard as like a late career, pretty punky song, you know, like it's fast. There's like an interlude that leads into it. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's, I know you don't love it, but you know, it caught my ear. It's one of the neighborhood songs I really do very much enjoy.
Cool. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan, but that's okay. Anthem from Enema.
Sure.
Like this deserved to be on just as much as any other song did.
Yeah. I'm going to say Mutt. I'm shocked American Pie chose it. Still shocked, but I love that they did. And maybe Blink, because they had a cameo in that movie, maybe they were like, put Mutt in the movie if you're going to have us in the movie. I don't really know how that works. Right. Just a weird piece of cultural history, I guess.
Yeah. Give me Anthem Part 2. Super good opener.
Oh, God.
Love that.
Okay.
The drum beat, like, slayed me as a kid. Like, how can anyone move in a way to make these sounds happen in real time? Like it felt like
they come in strong,
like
with and then he's like talking, getting a little political. I'm like, we're all growing up, you know. Like I was like, the themes on this album are gonna be deeper. They weren't really, but
I remember like really wanting to learn the drum beat and like downloading on Kazaa a performance of them playing this on TRL Live or something, or like I guess Live is in the name, and like being even more confounded by the beat after watching Travis Barker play it. Like, how could anyone do this? Like, this is impossible, right? Oh, dude, so good.
Yes, indeed. That's a good pick. What did I just? Sorry. Yeah, Story of a Lonely Guy. Similar to Every Time I Look for You. Just like emotional teen, like this is making total sense to me stuff that just made the records go by better and smoother. It's like, I'm not listening to this to endure it. I fucking love every song on these albums.
Right. Give me Asthenia from Self-Titled. I have this very vivid memory of being on the second floor of our high school. Our school is like a square. The second floor, you can walk all the way around. After lunch, about to go up to the third floor for math class and being like, I don't want to do this. And I still have nightmares of like waking up and being in a high school math class. And it reminds me of the feeling I had, just like that dread of like, I hate this. I hate school. I don't want to be here. Like, should I go? Like, I feel alone and tired. And it was just like, dude, this, like, I am 100% in this vibe right
now. Feeling alone and tired was, freshman through senior year. I feel alone and tired. That song made nothing but sense to me throughout. It's weird. You think, like, you know what? I might not think, like, if I had to do this ranking for the podcast, blah, 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 but, like, no one can take away the fact that Self-Titled was the only meaningful album for, like, a 4-year stretch. It's weird that it's just history now, but, like, and I can think of it like, well, maybe it didn't mean as much as this or that, but like there was a time and it just, that's all that mattered.
Totally. We were both in it
keeping
at the
on
same
that,
time.
Here's Your Letter and Violence off of Self-Titled.
Oh.
2 songs that, like, when you think about 3 albums in a row, front to back, making total sense and being very meaningful, those are kind of some, kind of in the middle songs that don't get talked about a ton, but Self-Titled songs that are, just fucking great.
I love Here's Your Letter. Holy shit. I forgot about that.
It's like Wendy Clear, what Wendy Clear was supposed to. So it's like Wendy Clear is what emo off of Dude Ranch was supposed to be, and Here's Your Letter is what Wendy Clear was supposed to be, or something like that. Like they're all kind of similar songs in my eyes in a weird way. Like the evolution of the band can be tracked through those 3 songs. It's a half-boiled theory, but by the time you get to Here's Your Letter, it's just like they knew it was a Mark song. They made it a dope Mark song, and I fucking love this.
It's really, really good. Good pick, man. My last one, I'm going to go with Untitled off of Dude Ranch. I think hearing it on the Mark, Tom, and Travis show, like, really blew my mind. I love the way it so dramatically changes right into the middle of the song, and I love it. It's so good. So good. It deserves, again, any of these honorable mentions could be swapped with like anything in our list.
Our last. It's a fitting final honorable mention because I am so sorry that this podcast is over, because this has been a total blast. You sent me a mic, what is it, 3 or 4 years ago, and here we are. So, we might head to the post show to get more reminiscent, pardon the pun, about the show's evolution question mark. I'm not sure if you want to, and talk about how dumb the shows used to be, but I'm glad we decided to, let's do a fucking Blink episode. I'm like, man, we haven't done a Blink episode. Oh my God. But yeah, no, I hope you enjoyed it, because I know Tom and I really did. So we'll get back to business next week for sure. But it was nice riding a wave of super hype songs into this, because there was kind of a groove. You know what I mean? Like I was still listening to Whoa Whoa by Forever the Sickest Kids today, like trying to get work done from home. Just whoa, whoa, whoa. Anyway, very hype into this draft. Energy stays high. Maybe we'll go dive back down into the depths next week or something. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, man. I don't want to the song of the week should just be go check out this playlist on Apple Music and Spotify.
Yeah. In spirit of the podcast's history, I did not come ready with a song of the week this week.
I would say maybe listen to the Pepsi Smash version of I Miss You, like the full band. Tom's playing a little bit of like Angels and Airways vibes at the end. Really, really good. Really shows the song in like a beautiful new way. That'll be my song of the week. But the show notes, reminiscentpodcast.com/episode/182. You can find the playlist on Apple Music and Spotify. I'll have links to the Pepsi Smash and all that stuff, and links to Patreon, because our Patreon supporters get like an extra 8-10 minutes a week, little post show, post some videos, behind the scenes stuff. So we're going to head over to that now. But yeah, we love you all so much. I can't believe we made 182 episodes. I cannot wait for 182 more. Maybe we'll do take 2 of the draft at episode.
Yeah. Shout out to Quinn, our first fan, who was the first person to tweet at us, and they made a Spotify fucking playlist off our Song of the Week recommendations 4 years ago. It blew my mind that someone from Canada or anywhere would care. And yeah, just thanks for holding it down while we truly doubted why the this was even happening. Why? Anyway, it took us many episodes to figure out what we wanted to really do and put effort into. So shout out to Quinn, who probably was the fuel that kept us going when we should have by literally all measures stopped. After 10 to 20 episodes. So thank you to Quinn, our first official fan. Yep. Meant a lot at the time, and it still super does.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank everyone. I love you, dude. What a ride.
Love you too, man.
Catch you in the post show. Bye, everyone.
All right.
Hey, great big thank you to everyone that stuck around for this crazy long episode. Cannot believe we did 182 episodes, and what a great way to honor our favorite band ever, the reason this podcast exists. Thank you to our sponsor, Singing Lungs, for supporting the show. Make sure to check out the full song in about 20 seconds. Thank you all for being here again. Hit us up on Twitter @_reminiscentfm. Check out the post show on Patreon, patreon.com/reminiscent. We love you all. Please stay safe, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye, everyone.